Here are our top 10 tips for visiting Disney's Galactic Starcruiser.
Roam with us, and it is awesome. You should definitely go.
Tip number 1, costuming. So I went, maybe not all out, but as all out as I could for costuming. I gathered up 6 outfits for each person in my travel party. 1 for arrival, 1 for the first dinner, 1 for BATUU, 1 for the second dinner, 1 for debarkation, and then I had everybody an extra outfit just in case. I wore mine for hang out after dinner. So my tip for you is you don't need 6 outfits. Now, if you want to, go ahead. I had so much fun planning out the outfits. I had labels that showed who it belonged to and which event it was for, or which time. And it was so much fun. But I did not have time to change and put together all of my different hairstyles and my outfits and my makeup and all of that. So keep that in mind as you are costuming. Now, if you are willing to miss some of the story to get into all your costumes, you know, that's cool. Maybe if you have late dinner, you'd have more time, but we had early dinner. So we did not have time. We were told that it is set to 68 degrees in the Starcruiser. I'm usually cold, but I was pretty comfortable. Some people say they're running around all the time so they get hot. I didn't feel like I was running around. I did walk around a lot, but I didn't get hot either. I was very comfortable. And also, as you are working on costuming, keep in mind that BATUU is hot, 3 suns, and humid, and sometimes it rains. So keep that in mind with costuming. We did have people on our cruise who were dressed in regular clothes. We even had somebody who dressed as Blue Shirt Guy from Free Guy. I've seen discussions online about dressing as the Doctor Who, and things. Ultimately, it is up to you. It makes sense to me if you're paying that kind of money to go on a Star Wars Starcruiser to live your Star Wars adventure, to dress the part of living your Star Wars adventure, but it is up to you. So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2 relates to backstories. Do you have to have a backstory to go on the Galactic Starcruiser?
No.
No, you don't. But I will say that I feel like it made it more fun. We had very elaborate backstories with that fit into the Star Wars timeline. We knew where we came from. We knew where our parents came from and how that related to the events of the Star Wars movies. So we were really into it, and it helped us play our characters, but that is not necessary. But my tip here is, even if you don't do a backstory at all, go ahead and do choose a Star Wars planet to be from. Here's some multiple choice for you if you just want to pick one. Naboo. That's where Padme Amidala was. Padme Amidala was. Padme Amidala was. Coruscant. That's the big city where you see them riding around in the prequels. Or Kashyyyk. That's where Chewbacca lives. Or Hoth. That's the icy planet from the original Star Wars movies. Or Lothal. That's where we were from. It's a planet that people don't really know, but I like it. They have Loth cats, and Loth rats, and Loth cities. I'm just kidding. But people in Lothal are not super creative with naming. So pick a planet so you won't be going, Earth. And it definitely helps with the Star Wars immersion and helps you make connections with the people on the Starcruiser. Tip number 3 relates to chargers. If you're like me and you take a lot of video and a lot of photographs, you might want a lightning charger. Or if you're using your own phone as your data pad, you probably want to take a portable charger, a lightning charger. We took several of those, but also here's a tip. You can plug up your device in the atrium. So if you're hanging out in the atrium or participating in an event there are a ton of chargers in the benches in the atrium. So just take your charging cable and you can plug up your device. Tip number 4 relates to the actual arrival at the Starcruiser. So you can start boarding at 1. My tip is to arrive, one of my tips is to arrive a little before 1. when we went, which was on the 4th voyage, everybody had to borrow a data pad. So even though we got there a little before 1, we didn't actually get on the Starcruiser until like 1:45. I have friends who went after us. They went recently where they could use their own phones as their data pads, and they were able to get onto the ship in 15 minutes or so, they told me. So, maybe if you get there before 1, you'll get right on around 1. So, get there so you can get on, start exploring. And then another tip about arrival is as soon as you get there, start exploring immediately. Like, go take your room tour, cool, yay, woohoo, and then get going. Take a tour and then wander around on your own. Scan your band on things, your M-band, find stuff. Tip number 5 relates to data pads. So when we went, we had to borrow their data pads, but that was great because I could use my phone to take pictures and video and then just use their data pad for all my missions. It meant I needed pockets, which I did not have because I had to keep up with 2 phones all the time. But now you don't have to borrow their data pads, but you can. So my tips on data pads are, be sure everyone in your party, including younglings who probably don't have their own phone, be sure you have set them up with a Disney ID and know the ID and the password before you go so you can log into the data pad after you get there. We got stuck in line behind some people who hadn't set those up for their younglings, and so it took a while for us to get in, and you could solve that problem and not make people behind you wait or yourself wait to get on by doing that ahead of time. And then the other advice on the data pads is with your yellow events, don't be late. There are some yellow, those are the required events. There's some of those that pop up that if you are late, they won't let you in because it's a story moment that's happening. And if you're not there, you can't go. I actually heard one of the workers say to someone, due to your tardiness, I can't let you in, but I'll try to reschedule you. But whatever is happening in there, that exact thing is not going to happen again. So if you are invited, if it's on your itinerary and it's yellow, make sure you are there on time. Tip number 6 is about shopping. I've got a whole video about shopping. Check out the description below for that. But my big advice about shopping is do it the first day. Like pretty soon after you get on, after you do some exploring, go ahead and shop because on day 2 you're going to be pretty busy. But you could run back in and grab something else you wanted. But on the morning of day 3, debarkation day, the Shangri-La collection is not open. So if there is something you wanted, you won't be able to get it. So go ahead and shop early. Also, if they sell out, they've sold out. I was on the 4th paid cruise and I asked about this necklace. They were out, but that's what I really wanted. And they went back in the back and they found one that had been on display. And so then my friend who went like a week and a half after me asked about it. They still don't have them. They said the manufacturer hasn't sent more. So if you don't get what you want, that's kind of it. So make sure you go ahead and get your shopping done. There is a separate store after you debark, but it is Star Wars licensed merchandise. Star Wars doesn't exist inside the Star Wars universe, but you buy things that say Star Wars after you are off. Tip number 7 relates to photography. Now, first off, you can take pictures and video wherever you'd like. Just if your hands are too busy filming, then you don't get to participate in things as fully. So keep that in mind. So if you just want to take pictures without other people in them, night is good and then debarkation morning is good, but some of the really cool rooms are not open, like the engineering room. But we could get some cool pictures on the bridge on debarkation morning. So just be on the lookout. There are good times without people to take photographs. And then another piece of advice with photography is if you have the money for it and you can, go ahead and sign up for that special photo session. Right now it is $99 for either 20 minutes or half an hour, as many pictures as they can take. We didn't get to do that because they came out with it so late before our cruise and I didn't know about it in time. But they go to special places and have special lighting. So all the photographs that I've seen that people have gotten look awesome. So if you have the money and you're willing to spend the time and you've done the costumes, check that out. Tip number 8 relates to BATUU. When you are on your excursion to BATUU, it gets hot. There's 3 suns on BATUU. It is hot. So my tip here is if you get hot, make sure you go back to the area near where you got off the Starcruiser. It is shaded and it is cooler. When we went, they gave us cold washcloths and cold bottles of water. I don't know if they're still doing that, but it was really nice, but it was a nice place to cool off. Also, we ate lunch at Docking Bay 7 with our quick service credits. It's air conditioned, so that was nice. Bonus tips for BATUU. Lightning Lane is included, so you get to go on Rise of the Resistance and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run without waiting in the long lines. And also on BATUU, don't forget to do your missions. So check your data pad and get done everything you need to get done. Then we went ahead and hurried on back to the ship so we could do things there. Tip number 9 deals with the show, but these are not spoilery tips, okay? So first, when you have muster, when you first get on, anywhere is fine for muster, although we are rather partial to bash. All right, next, bring something for Gaia to sign. She does the autographs. You can buy something there, or you can take something for her to autograph. In your room, you have the droid panel. It's audio only. It can't see you, but it can hear you when you're talking to it. Her name is D309. Don't ignore her. She is a lot of fun and very funny. The biggest tip about the show is the more you talk and participate and get into it, the more you'll get out of it. There are so many aspects. You cannot see them in one trip on this once-in-a-lifetime trip. But the more you do, the more you'll get to experience. And then tip number 10, which is for the sad day of debarkation, is you can leave any time before 10 a.m. Our data pad said we were supposed to get off between 8 and 8:30. I was really frustrated about that ahead of time, but we didn't have to get off that early. We could get off anytime we wanted before 10 a.m. So there is a buffet breakfast going on with the delicious Halcyon waffles. Check out my video on food. I'll put that in the description also so you can see all the awesomeness. But they had a breakfast buffet. Gingerella collection was closed. Most of the cool rooms were closed. So there weren't a lot of things to do because they really just want you to get off so they can get ready for the next cruise. But you can hang out, get some good photographs, have some nice breakfast, and then leave. So those are my top 10 tips for the Galactic Starcruiser. I've got lots of other tips. So I've already made a shopping and food video, and I will hopefully be making some other videos when I get time in the next little while. If you have any other tips or questions, put them in the comments below because I would love to know what you're thinking. All right, thanks for joining me. And until next time, keep roaming.